Whoa! Okay. Welcome to my live session. And today we're going to be discussing, are you afraid that you may get fired soon? All right. Are you afraid that you may get fired soon? In this session, we're going to be talking about the root cause of people being afraid that they may get fired soon. What is the traditional advice out there, and why is it that the traditional advice does not work? And then we're also going to talk about, what is the new recommendation right now? What am I recommending for you, and why is it that this new recommendation works? So, well, just in case you're just joining us right now, the topic for today is, are you afraid you may get fired soon? Here is what I want you to, this is what I want you to know about it. This is what you need to know about it right now. All right. So the first question is, if you see yourself being afraid that you may get fired soon, this topic came on board because I've spoken to a lot of young people, and this is a recurring statement, right? If you're afraid, the question is why? Why are you afraid that you may get fired soon? Let's dig a bit deeper. Let's dig a bit deeper into that concern. All right. Why is it that people are afraid they may get fired soon? Most times, it has nothing to really do with their workplace or themselves, but it has a lot to do with their pockets. All right. It has a lot to do with their pockets, how much they have in their bank accounts. Many people are living paycheck to paycheck, right? Why that is not why that in itself is not a bad thing, right? You got to do what you have to do. Why that in itself is not a bad thing. The main thing is that it leaves you with this fear. If I get fired now, what is going to happen? If I get fired now, how will I survive? If I get fired now, what will happen to my responsibilities? How will I pay my bills? What of the people I support? What of this? What of that? So these are the root cause of that worry that is happening. This is the root cause. Not knowing where the money you need to pay your bills are going to come from, not knowing where what's going to happen to you next. All right. So because of that, people are afraid. So if I'm talking to you right now, I'm sure you probably already have your own reason why you're often afraid that you may get fired. Feel free to drop it in the comment section of this video, and I'll be happy to hear it, right? I'll be happy to hear your own opinion of why you are often afraid that you may get fired. But I'll tell you the real danger of that fear. Because somebody may be like, oh yeah, if I'm afraid that I may get fired, well, it's just a fear that resides in my brain. No, that fear has an effect. All right, let's talk about it. The real danger of being afraid that you may get fired soon is that it forces you to do the things you are ideally not supposed to do. For example, I have spoken to some people, they're actually working in a place they consider to be a toxic workplace. All right. They feel like, oh, this place is not for me. I shouldn't really be here. But yet they're afraid they may get fired. One may feel like, if you get fired, it should be a good thing. After all, this is a place you don't want to, you don't feel like working in this place anyway. So why then are you still afraid you may get fired? So the problem I'm trying to point out is that when you're afraid you get fired, instead of leaving that place, you are actually afraid of leaving. So it forces you to stay in a toxic workplace, in a place that is affecting your mental health, because you are not sure of how things are going to turn out if you leave now. All right. So even when somebody, maybe you're not getting along with a manager, and they are really the way they talk with you or talk to you at work is really messing up with your mental health, you end up staying there because you don't know what is going to happen when you leave. So that fear, instead of causing you to move, actually prevents you from moving. All right. So it's not just that this danger exists, it affects you. For example, there was a post recently that was circulating on LinkedIn. I don't know if you saw it, right? So it was a lady. This lady was working in a place, and the mom is the one who was not talking about this, that she a young person is a young person. She was working in this workplace. She was always complaining whenever she comes home, and eventually one day the lady took her life. This is a serious case, right? And it was circulating on LinkedIn. The lady took her life because of the fear, like what was happening at work. But the point is, somebody will say, why didn't she leave? It is this fear that you may get fired, which the root cause is that you don't have enough money. You don't know where the money will come, the money you need to support yourself will come from, that forces you to stay, even when a place is messing up with your mental health. So what I'm talking about today is a serious case. All right. So what's the traditional advice? The traditional advice people have is, yeah, save your 6 months emergency fund so that whatever happens, you are ready. How many young people have 6 months emergency fund? You that I'm talking to right now, do you have 6 months emergency fund? Most young people don't have 6 months emergency fund. So I wonder why people still keep giving that advice or that recommendation, even when it's clearly not working. But let's examine, why is it not working? You're asking young people are asked to have 6 months emergency fund. Am I the only one that think that advice is often not workable for a lot of people? Am I the only one? Because I talk to people, they are working, they are earning, they are saving, they are doing all their best, but it's like they save for a year. They're not even going to have 6 months of your whole expenses, right? Sometimes you may have to work for 3 years or 4 years in order to save that. So this is one of the reasons it doesn't work, because even though you give it to somebody as a recommendation, it may take so long before it can be achieved. This is one of the reasons telling somebody to save 6 months emergency fund does not work, especially for young people. It takes too long for that to happen. All right. Now, let me tell you, there is another reason. Uninvested savings, I will use the word, disappears over time. Uninvested savings disappears over time. What does this even mean? It means that why it is taking you 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years to save 6 months emergency fund, right? Most times, the 1 month or 2 months emergency fund you have already saved, before you know it, it is Christmas season or celebration season. You dip hand into that place and spend money to maybe buy flights to go somewhere, to go see your family or to go see your friend. That savings drops. So when you have savings, just as, let me use the word, naked savings, money in your bank account, it's so easy to spend it. Before you know it, someone reaches out to you and say, hey, please, can you borrow me some money? There's something that came up. I'm trying to buy this property. I need something. I need money to complete my transaction. And then you end up giving them some money. Your savings dropping. So uninvested savings disappear over time. It gets spent, or it can be given out or something. So this is another reason say 6 months emergency fund doesn't work. Like, that advice sounds tush, but it does not work. A lot of young people do not have 6 months emergency fund in their bank account as I'm talking to you right now. Who can relate to this? If you're a young person and you feel like, oh, this thing you are saying is so true, please, I need you to drop a comment. All right, I need you to drop a comment. So another thing is that people really don't feel safe with 6 months emergency fund. First of all, most people don't have 6 months emergency fund, but even those who do have 6 months emergency fund, they don't feel safe enough to not feel like, whatever happens to me, if I get fired, I'll fine. So they still have that internal fear of getting fired that stop them from acting rationally. For example, leaving a workplace when it's toxic, or like it's like you have fear, but then the fear controls what you do. When somebody is talking to you, instead of you to respond in a professional way you would have responded, you probably want to keep a lot of things to yourself because you're afraid that you talking out may cause them to fire you. And this is how even some young people eventually get bullied at workplace. All right. So it's like there's an internal fear that controls your physical action that then shape your experience in life. Okay. So people don't feel safe. I'll give you an example. So I was talking to a guy, and the guy was talking about how he saved 6 months emergency fund and thought that, oh my god, yeah, she they say 6 months emergency fund. So I've saved 6 months emergency fund. I'm good to go. You know what happened? What happened was that uh, um, the guy got married, and almost immediately, him and his wife also had a baby. All right. So this was the emergency. So his own emergency was not necessarily getting fired, but emergency has arrived. But guess what? He stays 6 months emergency fund, but his emergency is the addition of two new humans to his life, almost within a short time, right? That 6 months emergency fund only lasted for 2 months. Only lasted for 2 months, and his savings was already wiped out, and he was in trouble already. Okay, so I'm just trying to explain to you that there are several reasons why save 6 months emergency fund, that sounds like a good advice, doesn't work in real life for many young people in their 20s and 30s. All right, so what is the cure of this fear of being fired? The cure of the fear of getting fired is having investments. I'm telling you, is having investments. Because when I also talk to young people that have investments, oh my god, there is this aura of confidence that exude, like the aura that whatever life may throw at me, I will be able to go through it now. And guess what? Because of this, they are not afraid that they are getting fired, because if they get fired, they know they can survive. Because of this, at workplace, they are able to professionally assert what belongs to them, right? And if a workplace messes up with their mental health too much in a way that is not beginning to affect them, they change jobs. And because sometimes they're even changing jobs, they get more salary, like they get paid much more than those who were afraid to leave. So these are all the good things happening out there for people who are able to invest, especially young people who are able to invest. All right, let me tell you why having investments is way better than just saving 6 months emergency funds. Number one is that when you start investing, the mere act of investing forces you to save more than you would have saved if you were just putting some money away in an account, in a savings account. I've spoken to some people, like, for example, they learn how to invest in something like stocks, right? They buy their first stock, they're super excited. The next month, their salary is coming and they're taking out money to buy more investments. This is not, if they were saving, maybe they would have just been saving a specific amount of money every month, right? But because they're buying investments, they're excited, they're seeing their investment grow, they're like, if this investment is growing like this, if I can invest way, way more, I can make way, way more money. So because of that, they're able to put aside so much more than they would have done if they were not investing the money, if they were just saving the money. This is why having investments help you save much more money, aka, which also means that it helps you to cure that fear. It boosts your confidence and help you to cure that fear of being fired. All right. But most importantly, having investments, having your money in form of investments discourages you from spending your cash reserve. I will tell you from experience that it is way easier to take cash from your savings account, for example, and send it to a friend who asks you for money than it is for you to go to your investment account and liquidate your investment just to send it to a friend. Talk to many people who have investments. They don't do that. I will tell you for sure. They don't do that. If you say it takes you one energy to take money from your savings account and send it to somebody, it takes you 10 energy for you to go and liquidate your investment and send it to someone else. All right. So what does this mean? When you have your money, your cash reserve, when you have your reserve, your wealth reserve in form of investment, it decreases the chance of it being spent. It decreases the chance of it being spent on holidays, on vacations, on one luxury item, sending it to a friend, as the case may be. So what happens? You're able to preserve that money much more compared to if you're just saving it. All right. And another thing is that, unlike people who just save, when you have your money and then you invest it, It means that I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Let's say you were able to save $10,000. I'm just calling a random figure. All right. For some people, it's $500. For others, it's $100. For others, it's $100,000. Okay. So, but let me just take $10,000 as a round figure. So let's say you're able to save $10,000, right? In 2 years' time, it's probably going to be 10,500, right? It's roughly still $10,000. It's roughly still $10,000. So it's as if that money is not growing. Even though bank will tell you, oh, we'll give you some percentage. What's the maximum percentage you get from bank these days? From 1% to 2% to 5%. I mean, on rare occasions. Okay. So you don't really get to make a lot. So that money remain almost the same amount. All right. But let's also assume that you saved $10,000 and you invested it, right? And at an average figure of say 25%, that's like 2,500. So at the end of the year, instead of having $10,000, you now have $12,500. And the second year begins with $12,500, and then you add to it. Because at the end of that year, maybe you have made extra $3,000. Suddenly, 2 years later, the money that was supposed to be $10,000 is now $15,000, right? So meaning that when you are investing, your money grows. When you are saving, it just basically remains the same thing. So this means that even if you are like you've saved. Let's say, for example, you saved 3-4 months money. Total expenses. If you keep that same amount for 2 years as investment, it may have the return on investment can help you cover the remaining 2 months. I'm just giving an example. Meanwhile, if you keep it as savings, it is only what you're able to save that you can add to the amount you have. So I'm just trying to say that investing the money grows and help you to make that amount bigger, which means you have a better chance of being able to withstand trouble when it happens. Okay, this means you won't also be afraid of getting fired, because you know that there is you are keeping some amount of money you are using some amount of money to invest. You are keeping that investment, you are not spending it, and it is growing. I'm telling you. So all these things I've talked about is why having investments is the cure to the fear of being fired. Try it. I know somebody will say, oh, I don't think it will really solve this problem. Don't guess. Try it. If you once you buy investments and you keep it, watch how you feel. That fear disappears. So don't argue with me that, oh no, it won't work. Try it. That's the point. Now I'm putting it to you as it's like I'm putting it to you as a challenge. Try it. Okay. But the question is, if this is the case, why is it that so many young people in their 20s and 30s are not investing? I'll tell you. I'll tell you. One of the reasons is that investing feels like what you do when you have so much money. I've spoken to some people, they'll be like, yeah, our parents, when I'm my parents' age, I'll start investing. So some people feel like it's what you do when you have so much money, meaning it's also is what you do when you have as you get older. So in their 20s and 30s, they feel like they'll just make money now and use it to buy the latest fashion and the latest experience, and wait until they get older before they can start investing. But the real reason this is the case is that most people also think that investing is what you do when you have a lot of money. Okay. So they are not aware that there are investments. They are not aware that there are investments you can do with smaller money. So because they are still thinking about investment in the traditional sense, where you need so much money in order to start investing. All right. Now, another reason is that investing is not taught in schools. So most times when young people finish, then they start working, right? Depending on, maybe you have 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, as the case may be, working experience. But the real question is, have anybody actually called you one day from work and say, okay, come, let me teach you how to invest? So investing was not taught in school. Nobody is going around teaching anybody investing, right? So many young people do not actually know how to invest, even when they want to invest. All right. And many people are also not aware of genuine investments or what investing means, which also means it's so easy for them to fall for something like a Ponzi scheme. When they just say that, oh, you put this amount of money, get this amount of money, they go there, and sooner or later, sooner or later, they lose money, and when they lose money, they feel like, no, investing doesn't work, right? But that's because they just went for Ponzi scheme. They do not understand what investing really is and how it is done. So these are some of the reasons why a lot of young people in their 20s and 30s are not investing right now. And this is why we at Investonomy are doing this investing literacy campaign to bring the attention of young people to what investing really is and how to go about it. All right. And specifically to show you the kind of investing the few young people who have started investing are doing. The few young people who have started investing, they are doing the type of investing they can do with the amount of money they currently have. And that is what? Stock investing. Because so what we are doing is we teach you more about stock investing, introduce you to the stock market, show you how it works, and you do it by yourself. So we're not asking you to send any money to us for us to invest for you. No, we teach you how to do it by yourself. You are in charge. You are in control. Through your phone, you're able to log into investment accounts, but that is just step 0.01 of 1,000. Let's just put it that way, or of 10, right? It's not about investing account, but how we also teach you how to select the right stock investments and all that goes with it, how to become an investor. These are the things we teach. So, I was talking to somebody recently, and I was like, so I asked the question, have you, what kind of investments do you know about? The person talks to me, I was like, have you heard of stock investments? The person said, what are stocks? I was like, oh my God, thank you for asking that, because it is so difficult for me right now to imagine that there are people who still don't know what stocks are. You do get the point? But that's a valid question, because there are so many people out there, maybe you, who don't know what stock investments are and the beauty of stock investments and the fact that you can start with the amount you currently have. You're not going to be waiting to pile in cash, right? Even at Investonomy, we show you where to get the money to start investing right away. So this is why I'm recommending what is your assignment for today. I have one assignment for you today. The assignment is for you. The assignment is for you to let me see, just a moment. Awesome. So the assignment is for you to register for our upcoming stock free investing workshop. I want you to register for our upcoming free investing workshop and to make sure you complete the workshop. If you can do that today, you have already taken the step that have put you far ahead of so many young people right now. That is your assignment for today. I have one assignment for you, which is what? Register for our upcoming stock investing workshop, attend it and stay to the end. Ask your questions, listen to other people's questions, right? So that you can even understand what stock investments are, the beauty, and how you can start. And as I mentioned, you're going to be able to do it on your own, going to be able to do it through your phone, safely, in a way that you're not going to lose money. You know what you're doing. You transform yourself. You transform and how to become an investor. That is really what is going to set you apart. Life is too short. Life is too short. You never want it to be that. You never want it to be that you are the one left out, because now a lot of young people are getting to know this information and they started. Don't be left behind. And you are going to be able to register for the workshop. Check the description. I added the registration link to this video, but I'll still say it is www.investonomy.com/stocks. Investonomy is INVESTORNOMY. That's investor and nomi.com/stocks. STOCKS. But most importantly, I added it to the description of this video. So just check it. You'll be able to see it. Go register for the upcoming webinar. Attend, understand. You also, when you go to the registration page, you will also see all that will be covered, like so that you learn more about stock investing. You understand how it works. You understand how to start doing it yourself. You understand where to get the money you need. You understand how other people are able to do it safely. It's in such a way that they are not losing money, because many people I've spoken to, they would say, Dr. Linda, yeah, I have invested in stocks, but I really don't know what I'm doing. Who feels that way? Who feels that way? Talk to me, talk to me. Do you feel that way? Because I've spoken to many people, and the answer is like, this is the recurring answer. This is the recurring answer. They will tell me, Dr. Linda, some people will say, Dr. Linda, I've bought some stocks here and there, and they'll say they lost money. Or they will say, I really don't know what I'm doing. I have some stocks here, but I really don't know what I'm doing. This is the recurring answer. I can bet you for sure. And if you're listening to me now, I bet you fall into one of two categories. Either you don't know what stock investing is about or how it really works, or you have heard about it, heard that you can make money from it, and you have started, and you are either losing money, but internally you do not know what you are doing. So it's either you don't know about stock investing, or you know about it, but you started, but you know that you do not know what you are doing. I bet you, like this is surprising. Hardly have I met a single young person who have dabbled into the stock market who will confidently tell me, I know what I'm doing. Yeah. So when you don't know what you're doing, something is guaranteed. You're going to lose money, and you're going to back off, and you're going to think it doesn't work, not knowing that it is you who do not understand how this works. This is why it is important for you to register and attend for our free investing workshop. All right. Go to www.investonomy.com/stocks. All right. Investonomy.com/stocks, and register for it. Do it today. That is your assignment. When you complete it, feel free. Send us an email. You will see how to contact us there. Send us an email. We'll be happy to answer your questions. Like, we are really out there trying to make sure that young people, as I said, this is part of our investing literacy campaign. We really want young people to start investing this year. We want young people to start investing. Well, I want to say this, but let me not tell you, because other people are going to hear it. Maybe when you email me, I'll be able to give you a more precise answer. All right. So let me tell you a bit about myself. My name is Dr. Linda Pajoel. I'm an investment educator. I'm also the CEO of Investonomy. Myself and my team, what we do is that we simplify stock market investing so that you can understand it and do it yourself. Our goal is to ensure that young people are investing. Young people have enough money not to be afraid that they're going to be fired soon. Young people have investment that match our lifestyle. Investment that match your lifestyle. If you want to move from one city to another, if you want to move from one country to another, you can take your investment along with you. Let me use the word, it is mobile investment. It is mobile investment. Unlike traditional investments, right? That a lot of young people, even when they do it, they feel stuck. I've spoken to some young people that maybe they bought a house too early, or they bought a land. Now they're not there to take care of the property. Other people are either shortchanging them, or in the case of house, this young person have gotten job in another region, but they feel they have a house here, so they can't move. So their career is having a stunted growth. They feel stuck. The mortgage is eating up almost all the money they earn all the time, to the extent that they don't have any other money to do any other thing. It's as if there are some investments you do, you feel like your youth has been stolen from you. May that not be your portion. When I talk to some people, they argue, but I'm like, taste and see. Taste and see. There are some investments you do, it's like your youth has been stolen from you. Stock investing and stock investments, investing in stock is something that really match the freedom of young people today. You see the way young people like work from home, young people like freelance job. Stock investing match that. If you want to move from one city to another, if you have big money, you can invest. If you have small money, you can invest, right? and you can monitor your investment from your phone by yourself. You are in charge. We, as young people, we like autonomy. We don't like really sending our money to somebody to help do investment for us, right? So again, my name is Dr. Linda Pajuel. I encourage you, register for our free investing workshop at www.investonomy.com/stocks. I added the link to the description of this video. That is your assignment for today. Do it and change your life forever. Okay? Take good care of yourself. Till I see you again.